Yeah, hello, and welcome to episode 71 of Friends of the Show. I am Stephen W. Skinner, and this is my podcast where I chat with some of the wild and wacky people from the World Wide Web. This week's friend is Toronto comedian and actor, podcast and TikTok creator, Ben Stager, who has carved out a hell of a niche in the scene. We chat all about how he came out of Kitchener-Waterloo, and all this stuff like his Tim Hortons podcast, reading Stephen King, writing like Stephen King, acting, and what it's like living with celiac disease. If you know, you know. This was a very fun chat, and you gotta check out Ben's stuff linked in the show notes and all the other stuff. Roll up the rim on this next episode. Friends of the Show, episode 71 with Ben Stager. Right now.
Sounds good, man.
So this is like triumphant return for this podcast.
Nice.
It's been on indefinite hiatus since, I don't even know when it was, 2019, 2018, 2019, end of 20, some amount of years.
Well, I'm pleased to be on the reboot.
Yeah, you're here on the big relaunch. It had to get a big name, a big big headliner to kick it off.
Amazing.
To kick it off right, and I know that all of the staggered heads got my back.
The stagger heads are gonna lose their minds.
Could have been. All the stagger heads listening, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button.
I mean, I'm scared of the response.
I think we should be.
What they might do. I don't know.
Should be looking into new extra servers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, oh shit. So before, let me just. Does it sound like I'm doing stuff on the computer? Before I begin, first things first, Ben. Do you have any flu-like symptoms, or have you traveled outside the country in the past 14 days, or come into any contact with anyone who has?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of? That's good enough for me.
No, I don't.
Good enough for me. Just addressing the elephant in the room, the global pandemic, you know. Haven't podcasted in years, got to bring everyone up to date. Currently, global pandemic.
Woo!
Yeah, so how's it going for you? How's the pandemic been treating you, Ben?
Man, it's been all right. Like, I mean, every day's a journey. I'm trying to read more. That's my big goal.
That's great. A book. Self-improvement. We can all relate to that. Yeah, I'm trying to get in shape. That's my thing. Yeah, doing.
Hey, that's a big challenge too.
Oh, it's so hard.
Do you do a YouTube thing? Do you go on YouTube and watch?
Yeah, YouTube. So it started with I just started doing the yoga with Adrienne. She's nice. She's a nice lady.
What's her last name?
What is her last name?
Okay.
It comes up if you search her. Yoga with Adrienne.
Like,
Mischler.
Maybe that is the person that I also was trying to do their workout as well. I don't know. I'll search it up later. But
yeah, search it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mischler, and she has a dog, Benji. It's very popular yoga account. She does like 30-day stints of something, so you can jump on and do like 30 days in a row, and that's what really gets you going. Once you do it a bunch of days in a row and you get it into your routine, lock it in. Just lock it into your routine, and then you don't even have to worry about it. Once it's in your routine, becomes a habit. You like it. It's great.
Then you're just doing it. Yeah. Do you have a mat? That's the one problem I have. I don't have a mat right now.
Ben, buddy, I got 2 mats.
You got 2 mats?
Yeah, one mat, it wasn't enough for me. It was, my knees were like, we need a thicker mat. So I got a thick mat, and then I put my regular yoga mat on top of the thick mat, and it's just, there's no problem.
Wow.
That's no problem.
It's almost like you're not even working out, though.
It's like working out on a cloud, Ben.
Yeah. Very, working out on the cloud. That's what we're all pretty much doing at every moment of our lives now.
Yeah, so I'm working out, but you're reading. So have you been crushing books? What's your goal? How many books this year have you read? What's your favorite book?
Well, this year, 2021, I think I've only read 1 book. And it was
we're very early, we should mention.
Yeah.
Into 2021.
Yeah. I started reading the Stephen King book about writing, and it was really good. I like it.
On writing.
The King. Yeah, on writing.
And he doesn't
Have you
mince words, right? He's like, if you're not reading 100 books a year,
I
get out of my
know.
sight. Put this book
Yeah,
down right now. Or like, I didn't even get past that part because I'm like, well, I am not, and I don't
yeah,
want to
I
get
love.
yelled at by Stephen King from 1975 or whatever.
He's like, you should be reading books on the ferry. You should be reading books
Yeah,
in line at the bank. Like that's what he says in it. I'm
yeah,
like, holy,
everywhere, all the
yeah.
time, consuming literature, and I guess that's sort of what you're trying to get to. So
I'm
what
trying.
book so on writing, so are you also committing words to paper? Is that part of your journey as well with reading as well?
Yeah, I was trying to. I don't know. I always like try to write like a fictional stories, and I don't think I've ever finished one. So I'm trying to work on finishing a fictional story. I don't know if it's gonna be long or short, but yeah, that's what I'm working on
That's
too. So
exciting. That's exciting when you get back into the groove of it. I think that was my thing too. I haven't tried to write anything in a long time, but back when I did write, I think that was my thing too. You just start, you'd write a bunch, and then you just like
yeah,
maybe walk away from it and never look at it again.
I
Or, yeah, work on
know
it for a while and be like, oh, what's going to happen next? I don't know because I'll never go back to it again. So
exactly.
until you start the next thing, it's just like, I think you need to have a better arc or whatever. When you have those post-it notes on the wall, needs to
Yeah,
go
you're
all the way
lining it
from the
all up.
start to the finish next time.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
was also
good
like
too.
just like trying to figure out like, well, when I was reading this book, it's like, how much do you have to plan? Like, can you just like go into it and just have nothing?
Yeah, I think that there's lots of different ways to do it, but either you go with the flow and just let the story tell itself as you write it. Like some people do
Yeah,
that, and then some people are like you have to Christopher Nolan it with a bunch of cute
yeah,
cards that you like move around in visual space to have an idea
yeah.
of like the different arcs that you're telling, and that's cool too. Like the different techniques of doing it is all very interesting to me. What's
I
your
like to
your
think
method is
that
just a
like,
free flow
uh,
go, right?
pardon?
Your writing method, you just sit down and start writing?
Yeah, but I guess like I have like some idea where things may go. So that yeah, it's not like I totally don't know. I
Yeah, so
have an
you've
idea.
ruminated on an arc and
Yeah, I
then you
guess.
start to flesh it out.
Yeah, like I know where I want to go, but I don't know how to get there, I guess, you know?
But that's the exciting part of writing, right?
I know. I just wondered, like, I wonder if like the author of like some of the famous like fairy tales, like Goldilocks, like what if they didn't know the ending? They had no idea what was gonna happen.
They're halfway through, they're like, Goldilocks is absolutely fucking up this bear's shit. What is gonna happen?
Yeah. What if they
I
were just like stuck in a block after like she tries all the porridges and stuff? They had no idea what they're going to do next.
well, thank God that they worked through the block.
Yeah, I'm glad too. What does happen at the end? Does she get eaten or does
I
she
think
run
you know
away?
what? That's unconfirmed. I think like in the original she probably gets eaten and then in like the
Yeah.
the whitewashed kids version. Was that the those brothers Grimm. They didn't mince
Oh,
words.
no. And it always ends up with someone getting eaten. That's what always happens with those guys.
Yeah. No, I
I
guess it's
swear.
not. It's from Britain. And there's
Oh,
3 versions that exist. Wow.
three different endings? So it
Yeah,
has
yeah,
like three
there's 3
different
different
endings?
versions. That's what the Wikipedia says. And it starts with an old lady is one of them instead of a kid, I
Oh, wow.
guess. And it's the old lady, and it's the same with the chairs and the porridge and beds.
She breaks all the chairs. Then she tries all the pork. Does she break all the chairs? Or
Yeah,
does she
she
just.
just like
Okay.
sits in them or whatever. I don't know
One's, yeah.
if that's too bad for bears,
And
but
one's just right. Yeah, that's what it always ends up
yeah,
being.
there's one
Okay.
that's not good, or one that's too hot, one too cold, one that's just right.
Man, I really gotta pick up that book, man.
Put it on reserve at your local library.
Maybe I'll start writing fairy tales. I don't know.
I think fairy tales is actually a huge business nowadays. We could, if you, if you hit with a new fairy tale, because
Yeah,
the market for
lots of
fairy tales is like, oof, it's just
very
reproductions.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone's not doing it.
Buddy, I think I'm not gonna post this part of the podcast
Yeah,
just for you and
please
me.
do
This
not
is
post
just
this far.
this part goes behind the paywall. This is part of our
Yeah,
course 3-part
yeah,
series on how
yeah.
to make
Make
money. The
sure.
first thing, develop a new fairy tale.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man, yeah, I love that. I don't know what mine would be about. I think it'd be called like the boy in the field or something like that.
He's got to learn a lesson. Oh, he's gonna get messed up with something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just walks around. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll set you up.
we'll put a pin in this. You start working on it, and we will check back with an update for all our listeners on a future episode.
Yes, I do not want. Yeah, yeah. Maybe censor out the boy of the field thing because I do not want anybody to steal that wonderful
I'll
idea.
beep that part. I'll bleep that part out, so listeners have no idea what we're talking about. But listeners should have an idea of who we're talking with, and that is Benjamin Daniel Stager at Ben
Yes.
with 4 N's ST on Twitter, and
Yeah.
presumably other social medias, similar handles. Similar
Yeah.
handles. Just Google it.
Yeah. I like. I originally had my full name as a handle once on Twitter. I think it's Ben Stagger. But then I wanted to become a plumber for a bit. So I was like, oh, I don't want people to be able to search up my name. So I made it BENNNNST. I thought that would be like kind of,
Yeah,
not
that's random
boldly
enough.
saying who I am. And now I don't want to be a plumber anymore. And like some kid in like Idaho or no, maybe he's like in California or something, has the Ben Stager handle. And yeah.
Does that really bird your chaps because you could have had it?
Yeah, I could have had it on multiple platforms. I don't have it on Instagram, I don't have it on Twitter, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Ben Stager from Shaker Heights, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yep.
He joined in October 2011, so that's been a while. Like he's been on it for a while, so that was pretty early.
No, okay. Well, I'm thinking more of the guy who has it on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram, yeah.
Sorry.
That guy probably a California dude.
Because at one point I was Ben D Stagger on Twitter, and I don't know what I was on Instagram. Maybe I was just Ben D Stagger on that too. I don't know. Either way, someone has the real Ben Stagger handle.
They have
But
Ben
that, yeah,
and
that'd be
Bendy. They have Bendy Stagger and Ben Stagger. Wow, that's tough. Yeah, I had to add the W in my name for unfortunate reasons.
damn.
So yeah, I don't even want to be Stephen W. Skinner,
I
but
like the W.
yeah, oh, okay, thank you. Well, yeah, I just have it because that is my actual middle name, William. So it's you got to put that
You're
part
like
out
George
there.
W. Bush.
Yeah, but if you just Google Stephen Skinner, just regular, you'll find the tragic backstory about the other Stephen Skinner who's currently serving time in prison for murder.
In Canada?
Yeah, he was. He
Wow.
escaped to South America, and he was caught in Brazil and extradited, and he was
Jeez.
tried of the murder of Stacey Adams, rest in peace, from out there in
Wow.
Halifax, and currently in prison with ties to different crime syndicates and stuff.
Wow, is he in like the prison in Kingston?
I'm not sure which one. I think maybe
Probably.
yeah, probably. He probably is at the prison in Kingston.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you ever think about going up there and just giving me a call?
I
Say,
have thought about sending something to like the victim's mother.
Oh yeah, true.
Feel super bad about it. I really want to like raise money and like make a donation in their name or something, and like send a card to the mom and like it's like it sucks so much having this name of this guy.
Yeah. Wow.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
fun little tangent.
Hey, you learn something new every day. That's amazing. And Stephen King would hate that I said you learn something new every day because you'd say that's so cliche.
He would? Oh man, you're not following his advice, his road advice.
Just being a hack right now,
Man,
man.
you're never gonna write thousands and thousands and thousands of pages for one
Yeah.
story. Or yes, you will, Ben. I believe in you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Need the positive
Your
energy.
yeah, your fairy tale is gonna blow him away.
I hope so. I hope he doesn't start writing one until I
Oh
do.
shit! Oh, that's not the competition that we need right now.
Yeah, no, we do not. We need to. We need writers. He needs to support me. That guy really needs to support me.
If you're listening, get on it.
Steven, he's listening on a radio somewhere in Maine.
He gets podcasts broadcast into his radio, so he just turns the dial and it goes to different podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. I know how he works.
Actually, that'd be pretty
just
cool.
I know, King.
All right, so we should tell your story, Ben. We gotta tell
Yeah.
your story. We gotta let everyone know your story. This is the WTF part. Where are you from? Who are your guys? What's your tale? We know where you
Okay.
are now. You currently live in a hype house, right? You
Yeah, I
live in a
live in
TikTok hype house with other major influencers and personalities.
my other major influencers were all racking in hundreds of views on TikTok.
Insane like stuff,
We are not
guys.
breaking thousands at all, but we collectively are each getting hundreds of views.
The views. Insane.
Yeah,
So that's where you are now, but
yeah.
how did you get there? Let's bring
Well,
it
I'm from
back. Let's
Kitchener,
bring it back.
Waterloo, Ontario.
Kitchener Waterloo, home of the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Go Kitchener Rangers.
Ooh.
Right?
Waterloo Siskins is our junior B team.
Okay. A little deeper cut.
Yeah, B side.
So the KW area, KW region, it's a popular region in southern Ontario. What's it
Yeah,
known mostly for? Is it the tech boom kind of now? It's
I
like,
think it's split. Well, before I think it was known for Kitchener Waterloo Oktoberfest.
oh
But
yes,
yeah,
yes.
but now it is more and more all about the tech boom and the fact that they got their own little monorail.
They have a monorail?
Yeah, well, I guess like a streetcar kind of, but they
It's
call
an
it,
elevated streetcar.
yeah, it's called like light rail transit. That's what it's called.
All right. So some light rail.
Yeah, it's cool. Everyone, yeah, you can
So
always
that's
go
pretty
for.
neat. So you obviously have taken a stroll onto the old monorail.
Man, I haven't yet. I've just seen it. I just peered at it.
You've just gazed
But
upon its beauty, but never
yeah,
experienced it for yourself, huh?
I, I want to ride on it at some point. It looks, I swear, it looks very, very familiar. I feel like the guys at Bombardier had something to
Uh-oh.
do with it.
Someone snuck some blueprints out the back door out to Kitchener
Yeah,
Waterloo.
I don't want Kitchener to get in trouble for like any sort of
No, it's definitely some
plagiarism.
sort of backdoor deal. You know, all those tech people, they're all
Oh,
like
I know.
rubbing elbows with the certain investors, the capital investors, and
Yeah, yeah.
someone
Well,
happens to leave plans for a monorail in their trunk at the after
yeah,
the Oktoberfest, and
yeah.
they just happen to leave those plans here.
And then the next thing you know,
Next thing you know, a few years later,
you see it chewing down King Street. It's steam powered.
a few Oktoberfest later, you're having your whatever smoked nuts
Yeah,
and beer and meats and just enjoying the monorail.
yeah. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm very proud of my little town, my little two towns, with
Really
a
made
big
it. Put on the map.
accomplishment. Yeah, it really did. I thought it was gonna bankrupt the city, like The Simpsons foretold. Thought
Yeah.
that was about Kitchener Waterloo, but it hasn't happened yet. So,
Well, Simpsons predicted it.
yeah, they always love doing that stuff.
How do they do it, folks?
Pardon?
How do they do it?
I don't know. They got someone on the inside of tech. I can only assume who's doing The thing that I don't even
They
think
got
I could
some
talk about.
Tenet level stuff. They're sending jokes backwards through
Yeah,
time to The Simpsons.
true. Yeah, next thing I know, I gotta be going down Kitchener Waterloo, and the train's gonna be moving backwards. And like what the heck? You
Well, that's great. So from Kitchener Waterloo,
know?
then where did you go? Where did you explode out of from on the scene to big city
Well,
Toronto?
in the year 2012, I moved to Toronto in with my brother and his girlfriend. I attended the Humber Comedy Program from 2012 to
Oh,
2014.
legendary Humber Comedy
Humber
Program.
Comedy Program.
I believe
Uh,
that other friends of the show have attended this program, and my friend Matt Cowell attended the program in an illustrious year with
yes.
other notable people such as Tim Gilbert and Nathan
Yes.
Fielder.
Whoa.
Quite a year.
Yeah, that's a huge year. Yeah. Well, I did too. 2014. That's the day I
Legendary,
graduated.
another legendary class. Who were some other notables from your Humber class that
We
are
got
still doing it?
Sam Burns, good friend of mine. Sam
Sammy
Burns.
Burns, he's been mentioned on the pod.
Yeah,
Oh,
love that guy.
he's funny.
Caitlin
Didn't
Langelier.
I like to bring up the time that he did a video of like waking? Was it you or one of the people who woke up with like opera friend?
Yep, he woke up me and my roommate
Wow, that's some
Tanner.
classic hype house shit, right?
he has a guy that he has a guy that he works at like a deli, and there's a guy that is works at a deli who's also like trained to be an opera singer. I think he paid him like $50 to come do that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, you'd have to pay him some amount of money.
oh,
It was like what 5 a.m. or something.
yeah. I was so confused when that happened because I thought it was Sam singing, but then I
Right,
think the
because he
first thing
does.
I
He
said,
sings a lot, and he's pretty good. So, but that guy was
yeah,
like
but I was
belting it. That guy was like
yeah,
next level volume.
I was so confused. Like the first thing I said after it was over, I was like, "Did you learn Italian?" Like I was very confused because that was the big thing that stuck out to me because I think it was in Italian. And I was like, "What the
Yeah,
hell?"
it was legit opera. It was great.
That's
I don't know if that
crazy.
clip is online somewhere, but
It's online. Sam Burns, Burns. I don't know
yeah,
his
he changes.
proper.
It's like Sammy Baby. On
Yeah,
some on I don't know what all of his things are, but
he's trying to find a uniform thing. You'll be able to find him. He's got glasses.
yeah, he's a handsome man. I saw him. I met him. He opened for Nick Flanagan in town in Hamilton a couple years ago on his like return. I guess he had taken a break from stand up. Then he got back into it, did that show, and I met him. And
Nice.
he was very nice. Yeah, so everyone check out Sam Burns, another member of your hype house.
Yeah. Sammy. And then, so our people that are my little year, Caitlin Langelier,
Oh hell
she's a
yeah.
writer and comedian. I try to think, yeah, this guy named Tax that I think is really funny. Yeah,
It's a good group. You
search
got
it
a
up.
good crew. You got a good crew.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so you were in another little crew. Is it the Make 'em Laughs? Is that a thing?
yeah. I was in, and you never know when they might show up again. We might have some new
We
things
haven't
to
seen
say,
the
but
you're saying we haven't seen the Make 'em Last. We haven't seen the last of the we haven't
make me laugh.
the
The
the Make Me Laughs.
Yeah, Toronto make me laugh. That was the
Toronto
name.
Make
That
Me
is the
Laughs. Thank you. I kept messing up the name. I couldn't get it. Other stuff kept coming up when I tried to search. I was like, I just have this wrong, but thank
yeah,
you. The Toronto Make Me
make
Laughs.
me laugh. Maybe there's a Facebook page of us. Maybe you can find us on YouTube. You never know. But
Maybe.
yeah,
Check
we
the show notes for a clip.
specialize in Canadian political song parodies. And I swear to God, if we had the licensing rights, we would have been on TV.
That's the one thing that kept you down.
If we had someone arranging the music, but we were using karaoke tracks off of YouTube.
Ah, man. See,
We could hire.
that's the thing with that's changed the game for TikTok, right? Having the sound clips available
Yeah,
in the app, that is what's people want their clips to be used. Like, it's just sort of completely changed the game, as opposed to having to use like royalty free chill
I
beats or
know.
whatever. So that's so we should do a quick tangent into TikTok. You're on TikTok. You're making TikToks.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making a TikTok video. Maybe I'll do a
Sure.
duet. Maybe I'll duet you for my
Gotta do it.
we got a duet. I'll stitch. Do you ever do those ask a question, ask a very simple question and hope that everyone stitches you?
Yeah,
I'll stitch one
I
of
did.
those.
I tried doing that yesterday, where I was like, tell me, tell me you're scared of the novel you're reading without telling me you're scared of the novel you're reading.
Okay, yeah, a very
And then,
popular format of that kind of
and then
question.
I looked at my novel, A Pet Cemetery, and I yelled, and then I fell on the ground. And so far, nobody stitched it, but we got 18 likes, and boy, does that feel
Oh, hell
good.
yes. That's that dopamine receptor just receiving each one of those likes as a little uptick. Thank you, dopamine receptor.
Powers me.
Yeah, and it's worth it, right? Like, that makes you make the next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll definitely be getting on there. I'll be learning and creating. I'm going to become a TikTok creator. Eventually, we're all going to
Oh,
have over 1,000 followers. We're all going to start going live.
yeah.
Whatever. We'll show up in each other's TikToks. We'll do different dances. You ever do dances? I don't think I've seen you do any dances on there.
Yeah, I've done a few actually.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there's a new dance trend, and I'm like, okay, I think I could do that.
For
And
sure.
yeah,
A lot of the dances are I wouldn't even consider dances, sort of like gentle movements, just
I
sort of
know
like
it's
more like a tai
interesting.
chi or something, like a little arm circle, like raise your hand up, put your hand down. Yeah, that's a
It's
dance if you groove
it's
with
so
it.
cool that it's like that's the one thing I find like cool about literally a new dance style has been made because of TikTok. Or maybe I'm getting my facts wrong, but I think that would be true to say.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. It's even like dance styles. It's like
Yeah,
the hyper niche aspect of the internet and social media has sort of like they've taken it to the next level where it's like
I
now
know.
everyone is like, oh, I need to be niche. So it's not just like I'm a coffee person. I'm like I'm a coffee person who climbs a mountain and like
Yeah,
uses bark from a tree to light a fire to boil the water in my kettle and
yeah.
pour over only my Chemex. Like, oh,
And
that's how specific you have to be, and you have to do that a lot.
that still might only get 28 likes.
It might only get 28 likes. It might only get 28 likes. Don't let it flop. TikTok lets it flop half the time or more.
I know. Well, it depends if you get that the pesky algorithm. I could go on for days about that.
Buddy, you need to hit that FPV at 11+% conversion rate, and
Yeah.
you're golden. Yeah, I'm look
Well, hey,
I'm looking at these metrics, and that's what I heard. You need FPV at 11% or more.
okay.
You know what that is?
What's that frame per
Follow
video
per viewer or something. Follow per
follow
view.
viewer?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like when they view your video, are they following you to see what comes next?
The thing that I recently am having a dilemma with on TikTok is I had a TikTok blew up like a couple days ago, and it's a video of one of my friends. We it's from a few summers ago. We went to Niagara
Uh-huh.
Falls, and we got a hotel, and the balcony of the hotel was attached to the patio of Ruby Tuesdays.
I did see this.
So my friend was singing a song by Bastille, like if you close your eyes, ayo,
Yeah.
ayo. So it's gone really well. I've gotten some new follows from it, but I also kind of feel bad and misleading because the guy in the video ain't me. The guy in the video is my friend Noah Maloney, and I just the
Right.
camera guy.
Did you tag Noah Maloney in the comments? Has he got a
Yeah, I
TikTok?
mean, people have asked who it
Yeah.
is. I see Noah Maloney. He knows about it. He knows about it.
Yeah, it's
And
like it's all above board. It's you took
I
the
know, I
video.
know,
You have the
I feel
right.
like I'm
You
misleading
captured
them.
the moment that went viral, right? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Without
I
you
miss.
whipping out your phone and being like this awkward pan from your party over to the Ruby
Yeah,
Tuesdays table of elderly people trying to have their dinner.
and a kid.
And a kid,
There's a
yeah, it's
kid
like the grandparents and a kid try to have a nice dinner in Niagara Falls at Ruby Tuesdays, and there is a hotel balcony right in the
Yeah,
restaurant somehow.
I was very yeah. When I was searching up Ruby Tuesdays, I always thought it was called Ruby Tuesdays. But then if you search it up, one of the Mandela Effect things, apparently it's called Ruby Tuesday, no S. Can you believe that?
Goodbye, goodbye to that. How?
Yeah, yeah.
So is
Search
it
it
the
up.
song and the store is Ruby Tuesday, or just
Is it?
is the
I don't.
store one and the song is the other one?
Honest, I think that they might both be Ruby Tuesday. No,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think they're
look up the
probably no
song.
S, and it's Rolling Stones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday for the Rolling Stones. I love it on podcasts when people are looking stuff up and you can kind of tell. It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing. Like when you have two people, like another host, they can sort of cover as the other person scrolls. But when it's
Yes.
like, and when both people, the guest and the host, are both scrolling, that is the real.
That is
That's
when
like
it's.
some of my favorite podcast content. And if they just
There could be a whole.
don't acknowledge it,
There could be a whole podcast on that. Looking up things. Podcast.
can you hear that?
Can I hear it? No, I couldn't hear that. What were you? What was going on there?
No, there's music playing, but you can't hear the music.
Man, it's so weird how like our laptops or whatever or computers they try to like when you're talking to someone else over Skype they try to like somehow they're able to make the noise coming out of a computer not go toward the other person on the other end listening in the conversation, if that makes any sense at all.
Yes, but I have it set up so that I want those sounds to come through.
Yeah. Well, I ain't hearing them for some reason.
You didn't hear it, but that was through one. I think I might have just had the volume down, the levels. Ben, see, this is the first time back. All my equipment is all dusty.
Yeah.
The microphone, I had to like untangle all the cables. The Zoom, I had to make sure that the batteries were good. Like we're down to 1 bar on the battery on the Zoom.
That's scary. You're at a scary place right now.
I've done podcasts where it's been flashing for the last, like the battery thing has been flashing for like the last 20 minutes of the podcast. And if you don't like stop it before the battery dies, you can lose the file.
Oh my god.
So I think we're about to be playing that game, Ben. But
Is there no
we're
way to like plug it in?
yeah, but I don't have, yes, there is, but I do not have the adapter.
Who needs it?
Well, obviously I need it, Ben. This is a good point.
That's true.
I'm going to make a note to get that adapter and plug in my dang Zoom. Don't worry about the batteries.
You might as well.
Ben, we're covering great stuff here. So now, you're Ben with 4 N's ST on TikTok too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Keep it brand.
That's
keep
right.
It in brand.
Brand awareness. You got to have that continuity. Same picture, same vibe, right? Definitely same vibe.
Gotta keep the vibe. Got huge vibe check.
So what are your okay? So now we're getting into your whole deal. What are your 4 pillars? I know a couple of them. Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons is huge. Yeah, my pretty much comes down to this. Tim Hortons is a pillar. Kitchener-Waterloo is another pillar.
Yep.
Celiac disease is my 3rd pillar. And other than that, God knows.
Celiac disease. I really wanted to drop that bomb, but I guess I shouldn't have queued you up for the 4 pillars. Celiac disease. This is huge. You don't mess with gluten. Gluten messes with you.
No,
You.
it does.
Yeah, so I am familiar with this. My mother has it. Shout out to Diane and the
Whoa.
celiac crew. And my brother, he avoids it. He has a
Wow.
sensitivity. Now, I've taken the test. It came back negative, but I think
Amazing.
I have still a little bit of sensitivity because beer, I never was able to like feel good after drinking a beer. So I don't know if that has anything to do with
Wow.
it or not. But I'm fine now. I eat pasta and everything sort of on a pretty regular basis, but did have a little bit of a brush with it. So, and I should
Wow.
mention that
Yeah.
my wife, who has recently given birth to our baby 10 months ago, it has been off of it for over 18 months now. So she's been
How's she feeling?
dairy free and gluten free, my dude.
Wow. She's really going for it.
She went for it. Yeah, it's like vegan borderline, other than she eats meat.
So now, like, if you guys are making a meal together, like if you're making pasta,
Yeah.
do you just eat the same pasta, or do you make a different pasta as well?
Yeah, sometimes I'll make a separate pot of
Mm.
pasta, but sometimes I'll just have the gluten-free pasta. Depends on what we're having. Some of the gluten-free pasta, as you may or may not know, is better than others. Some of it
Yeah.
sort of holds sauce better or not, and that sometimes that's a key thing. Like if the pasta doesn't hold any sauce, you're just like slurping up noodles and then like having a spoonful of sauce. It's not a really great
Yeah, I know. It sounds
experience.
bad.
So yeah, and sometimes they're like mushier, it falls apart. There's a lot of issues with
Sometimes
gluten.
starchy.
Gluten really does its work. Gluten really does the
I
work
know. It is.
in
It
the
is
food.
very.
It's a key
Yeah.
player.
Really, having celiac disease makes me appreciate the magic of gluten, how it holds things together. Nothing. It doesn't. Nothing gets held together quite like gluten. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
but tell
It's
that to
crazy.
the what is it? The villi in your stomach or whatever that it reacts poorly with.
Oh yeah, there's pictures. Well, I think it's intestine. These little guys that just get very hurt if I ever eat it. So
Yeah.
I gotta look out for my buddies, man.
Yeah, that sucks. So let's tell, what is your celiac story? When did you get your diagnosis? Were you just like, oh man, I just hate my life eating and it
Yeah.
feels terrible all the time? And the doctor's like, oh,
Well,
maybe you have celiac.
my brother Chris, he was having some stomach issues, and the family doctor was like, okay, I gotta get you tested for celiac disease, and while we're at it, we're gonna test your whole family. So each one of us got tested for celiac disease. We got the blood test, and I was the only one that came out positive. And this was in the year 2004. So then after I got the little blood test, they were then like, all right, let's take you to the next level. I got my little biopsy, and that came back positive too. So now I'm celiac.
Yeah, locked in.
2004, big year.
2004. Yeah, that was a good year.
Yeah, I remember back then. Me and my mom would drive to Cambridge, a factory in Cambridge. That's where we could get some gluten-free waffles back then. Couldn't
Nice.
find them everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
that was just the start. That was just the beginning of it being like you have to go to specialty stores or I don't even
yeah.
know, all kinds of where you get that kind of stuff. I think yeah, my mom sort of got her diagnosis sort of around that same time, or even like it was late for her, like in her
Wow.
life. Like that's to me, it's insane. Like how do you go your whole life
Yeah, that's a
into
long.
your like 40s or whatever, and late 40s, and then get it figured out?
Is she feeling better now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, change it up. Be like, oh,
Mm.
that was because it was like she went to the hospital for like a couple weeks and it looked really bad, and then they're like, oh, it's MSG.
Oh
They're like, they
wow.
said it was MSG, like from Chinese food or whatever, and it was not that, but they figured it out after that it was
Wow.
celiac.
Everyone was against MSG back then.
I
Holy
think that was the
hell.
thing. Maybe like the guy was watching 60 Minutes the night before. Mom comes
Yeah.
in. He's like, oh, it's freaking MSG again.
MSG.
MSG.
That was
Anyway,
such a huge thing. MSG, then trans fats,
yeah,
then
MSG.
gluten free.
Yeah, and now gluten free. So we're all gluten free. What are your go to if for all the gluten free listeners? What are your must haves? What are your shout outs for brands or what are
Oh
your
yeah,
life
let's get the
hacks?
brands going. Again, I tell people this all the time, and this is the one thing about gluten-free. If you're looking for reliable pasta, you gotta go with Catelli Smart gluten-free pasta.
That's
It's a
correct.
blend.
That's what we
It's a
use in our
blend.
house. We've gone through a lot of different ones, but that Catelli Smart gluten-free pasta just does it. Holds together pretty good.
It does the job, and that's the big thing people don't always realize. You gotta have a blend of flour. You can't just have rice flour. You
Yes.
can't just have corn flour.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have rice, corn, quinoa, and something else is in there that
Yeah,
makes
baby.
it
The
decent.
blend.
So Catelli Smart's huge for me.
Do we know what their blend is?
I think it's corn.
Did they say?
I think it's corn, potato, rice, and quinoa. I
Oh,
swear that
4
might be it.
pillars of blend
those
of
are my
flour.
blends.
That's great. My dad, I mean, ever since my mom's been diagnosed, my dad's like, changed cooking as he was the cook in the house. So he used to like bake a ton of bread, like with a bread machine, and he's been trying to find like the good flour to use to like make
Wow.
bread in the bread machine. So he was trying all these different blends, and I think for years or whatever, and he finally found one, and I think it might be in like a bakery, Kitchener Waterloo or something, someplace out in the middle of nowhere
Wow.
that he goes and he gets like a bunch of it, and then he just uses that one specific blend now. And yeah, it's the same thing. It's like a blend of like corn and I don't know what else, like millet and quinoa maybe.
You gotta drop the name of that
I
place.
gotta, yeah, I should have checked with my dad before, but I'll have it in the show notes, so check
Yeah,
it out.
please. But hey, you might even get a sponsorship out of that, or maybe they don't want you to know. Maybe
It
that's
could
it.
be, yeah, highly sensitive information. They're
Yeah.
trying to secret guard. I think we use for bread. We have the Little House Bakery or something like that
Oh,
with
yes.
millet and chia
Yeah, I've
flour. I
had
believe.
that.
Yeah,
I like.
they're little slices of bread, but they're good. They're fine.
Yeah. I sometimes get that. I sometimes even go with the glutina every once in a while.
Glutino.
Yeah. Sometimes go with the Odos. Sometimes even go with the new kid on the block that's making waves in the celiac communities.
Life's good.
It has even gained lots of sponsored ads about it when it was first coming out. Promise.
Promise.
Yeah, it's called Promise Bakery. It's in Sobeys. It's in Freshco's. It's pretty good.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's
Promise.
good.
I'm writing it
I was
down.
I was getting a lot of sponsored ads at one point.
Are you like ordering your gluten-free stuff online, or just do you have a Google alert for gluten product updates, gluten-free updates?
Man, one thing I never order gluten-free products online. I always just like go to the grocery store. But one thing I was asked, because I'm part of a couple gluten-free Facebook groups or celiac Facebook groups, and I was asking today because I have found out through my Facebook groups that in the United States there is a craft dinner made with gluten-free pasta. So I was asking today on the Canadian Celiac Association Facebook group whether or not anyone has tried ordering it from the United States. And everyone was like, no, we haven't. So I kind of want to see if I can order a box from the United States just to try it out.
Buddy, this is huge, and also this sounds like a great TikTok. Like first
Yeah.
part is you
Wow.
explaining one of your pillars is celiac. I'm a celiac producer from
Yeah.
Canada, and we don't have this celiac craft dinner. I'm gonna order it. First part is ordering it. Follow for part 2.
That is such an amazing idea. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going
Everybody,
to
if
do
you're
that.
listening, that's probably live by now. So go
That
hit
is a
that follow,
million
share,
dollar
and
idea.
find out what it
Thank
tastes like. And if you're an American listener who has access to this, go out to the store right now and get some and hit us up and let us know what it tastes like.
Yeah. Do you like craft dinner? Do you
But I
like
had
it?
it 2 days ago. Yeah, it was sort of a
Nice.
staple of mine growing up, and now I sort of always just have it on hand for those lunches where I'm just like, ugh. I don't want to make
Yeah.
anything. It's like, I'm hungry but not starving, and it's just like easy. It literally takes 10 minutes, like
Yeah.
including
Get the
eating and cleanup.
Yeah, you get the pot going, and then one thing leads to another, and you're feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like a system and a science, and I make it really well for how I like it. And like my wife, she can never recreate the consistency. Like she's not eating it now, but like when we used to make it, she'd be like, "Can you just make it for me?" Like, 'cause
Yeah.
there's something about the exact right amount of splash of milk, splash of butter, something about it.
Do you put anything on it? Like, I'm very
My
curious.
my wife got really into putting the fresh grated cheese on top of it, and that is a decadent touch. I can't do that all the time. I think it just makes it a little bit too heavy for something. Like
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
just when I want craft dinner, I just want like a light sort of lunch.
Yeah,
But my
a
new
light craft.
my new craft dinner hack is red pepper flakes.
Red pepper flakes.
Buddy, a few
nice.
pepper flakes. You just a little sprinkle, and when you get that little bite, you're like, oh, that's that flavor that was missing from my
Wow.
craft dinner.
Yeah, I really gotta order a box of this stuff.
You gotta order a box.
I imagine I'm gonna be paid some insane.
You
price.
should order a case. It's not worth it to order
Yeah,
a box, right? Like maybe, or I don't know what the metrics is. The case might be too much for shipping,
Yeah.
or maybe you qualify for Amazon Prime shipping if you spend enough for a case. There's a lot of stuff to be worked out, Ben.
Yeah, I really gotta search this up.
A lot of
But
logistics
I also
available
asked in my celiac group, I was like, "Is this illegal? Can I go to jail for doing this?"
for carrying non-celiac or like products. No, it's just like
No, for bringing it across the U.S. border.
no, because
That's why.
you'll pay an import fee, right? Like you'll pay a tax for bringing that in,
Well,
and that covers it.
yeah, true. Okay, well, it looks like everything I'm doing is by the book, but I have to do this because if I don't do it, I'll never know.
You'll never know, and you know what? We can't live with those kind of regrets in 2021, Ben.
Now I will be kicking myself for years and years.
Well, no, you won't, because you are going to find out what it tastes like, and you're
Yes,
going to let
thank
us
you.
know. I want to know, is it just they have the original? Because Craft Dinner now has like a myriad of assortments of styles and
Yeah, they just have the original,
flavors.
so it
Yeah,
seems. What
just like-
what do you just stick with the original? Or do
yeah,
you, like,
original is
okay.
go-to. Sometimes we'll dip. My wife is a spirals kind of gal. I enjoy
Wow.
the extra creamy one for some
Wow,
reason. It's a
okay.
different noodle, I think, also in the extra creamy one. It's like a wider hole noodle, like a bigger grade
Cool.
noodle, I think, which also helps more like sauce get on it. And I think you
Wow.
add a little bit more milk, makes it creamier. It's a little bit of different. It's just it just switches it up a little in case you're getting bored of the straight up original.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to even get used to the original before I get bored of it. So
Would you
I'm not.
what I'm wondering, Ben, is would you be able to take your favorite Catelli Smart gluten-free noodle, for
Yeah.
example, and just like get the Kraft Dinner powder?
See, that's another thing that these people were recommending to me. They were like, yeah, you could just buy a Kraft Dinner shaker apparently
A what?
and make it yourself. Yeah,
A shaker
apparently
like
they
filled with the
sell-
powder?
Yeah.
What? Are people
Yeah,
just using this as like a condiment, like on top of their pizza or something?
Yeah, you can put it on anything, I guess.
I put that shit on everything.
Yeah, well, you're looking at a huge lawsuit if Kraft starts using that.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I might try that way. I might make
You should.
get some for the fam, and we can try the gluten-free Kraft Dinner here.
You gotta.
I mean, it wouldn't be official, not like what you're doing.
Yeah, I know, but
It wouldn't be the
something.
real, because I wonder if they changed the powder at all.
That's true. I feel like some people will be like, "Oh, it's not the same as like in the little packet."
Yeah, like, so do you just take a regular packet from a box and just use gluten-free pasta?
That's another interesting thing because I feel like my buddies on my little group would be like, "Don't do
That's
that
the move.
because the package touched the wheat noodles and you know."
Oh, right. Yeah, you think that would cause some cross-contamination?
I don't know.
That package is sealed pretty good. That metal stuff,
I
like that,
know. That's so true.
that would survive like a nuclear explosion, I feel like, the Kraft Dinner
I think
packages.
so as well, but you know my little buddies would have a problem.
Well, hopefully the little buddies don't get too mad about it. Everyone's just trying to have some KD for lunch. Sprinkle
Yeah,
some pepper
well,
flakes
you
on it.
never know. You never know. You never know. These guys, these celiac warriors, man.
That's great that you're a spokesperson for that. You gotta have your cause. You gotta speak up
Yeah,
for your people, for your crew, for your little guys out there on your Facebook group.
of
Have you
course.
ever seen something on that Facebook group like scrolling and you're just like, holy shit, this changes my whole life? Like one of those like, what life hack changed your life or whatever, but specifically to celiac? Is it like you found a great product or people are like,
Oh,
if you
I
do
don't know.
this,
Oh, man, nothing sticks out. Oh no. Okay. Well, the things that stuck out to me is that I found out through that group that this gluten-free craft dinner exists, and I've also found out through that group that gluten-free Oreos exist
whoa.
in the United States. So these are two things that
How
are
come the
on.
United States is getting these products? We have these same companies.
I
We have
don't
these same
know.
alternate products here. We have a
It really
populace
confused
affected
me.
by celiac disease as well.
It really confuses me. And then also in my group, they're all like, "Oh well, we can't trust these American products because the Canadian labeling laws are better. So maybe they have trace amounts of gluten in the United States." There's laws of politics that goes into all of
Uh-huh.
this stuff.
These gluten lobbyists.
Yep. So I don't know who to
Big
believe
gluten
no
is in the
more.
pocket
I
of
know. Yeah, I know.
our politicians.
I know. It is. It
You know,
is. There's
Trudeau's
nothing we
got
can
a
do about it.
frickin' stack of those gluten-free Oreos in his pantry that
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
doesn't
I know.
even
He
eat.
does.
He just has them there.
Yeah, and he doesn't let the rest of the Canadians try them.
He
He just
says he
has
can
them.
taste. He says he can taste the difference. But I
He can. Oh, I'm sure he can. God.
is that a lot of your life, like tasting the difference?
One thing, I don't know. I like, I, I don't know. Because I guess I wouldn't know what the difference is because I can't even remember what it used to taste
Right.
like.
At this
So,
point, it's too long ago.
yeah,
Six,
it's too
16,
long.
16 or so plus years. That's the whole life of a teenager right now. That's the whole life of a TikTok star.
Yeah,
Like
that,
a long ago. That's a long time. So I understand.
that is a long time
You
ago.
forgot what
Wow.
gluten. You forgot what it really meant.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if there's any. I feel like there's no popular TikTok star that has celiac disease. So I would love to be the first. Please,
If you're
please hear me at
listening.
Fight Dance. Please put me on the algorithm more, please.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. He's gonna be big in the. He's gonna be celiac's #1 TikTok.
I want to make my own celiac-based app where you scroll like that. Celiacs only.
Just celiac's, but it's exactly like TikTok.
Yeah, same sort of thing, but
And you should
just
probably do a dating one too, like you know how the celebrities have their rich people one,
I
famous people
swear.
app only
I
for
swear
dating.
there was or there is a celiac dating site. I forget what it's called, but if you search it up, it exists.
I believe it because having similar dietary requirements would be a
Yeah,
huge thing. Like it would be a huge help. Like you can eat the same thing, and it's like normally it's a huge pain if the other person has like a regular quote unquote diet and the other person has a
yeah,
special diet. Well, if you have the same diet, then that's not even a problem. It's just all the rest that's a problem.
true. Yeah, yeah, it's true.
It's one
It
it's one good part of the Venn diagram, but maybe not a key part for a
gluten
relationship.
gluten separates families. I'll say that much.
Gluten, yeah, gluten has destroyed families.
Celiac disease destroys a family.
It's tough. Yeah, it is tough to have the different special diets and the
One
combination.
of the worst diseases of all time. I'll go out and say it.
Going on the record, happens to be the one that you
It's the
have, but
worst
yeah,
disease of all time. There's not
from
a
an
single.
from a completely objective perspective here.
It is a horrible little disease. I'll tell you that much.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you've come on to share awareness, and we're all
Yeah.
sharing our awareness with the celiac disease. Now, if you've been affected, listener, by celiac disease, maybe let us know. Drop a story in the
Yeah. Tell.
comments, or stitch one of Ben's TikToks about celiac disease. And if you try
Please.
that craft dinner, duet Ben on TikTok.
Yeah. Let us know how it is. Yeah. I would love that. I'm just trying to spread the message, right?
Trying to get it out there. All right. Few more points here. We are rounding it down. We've almost hit that beautiful hour mark, Ben. We've almost hit that magic hour. And we got a few more bullet points on my notes to cover,
Okay.
including some short films that you've been recently in.
Yes.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about them. You can talk about them in whichever order. There's the one with your Hype House Collective, and then there's the one more shorter film with Chris Locke, friend of the show, I believe that I've seen
Oh
on social
yeah.
media that I really liked recently.
Bastards with Knives.
Bastards
The
with Knives, a Tarantino-esque,
yeah, Western.
bite-size satire comedy video.
Yeah, it's a legendary short film. And yeah, me and Chris, we wanted to make a video together. We met up a few times, just like thinking of ideas, and then we didn't do anything. But then we were like back in December. We're like, okay, let's shoot something outside. And then Chris had been watching a lot of Western movies, and then he was like, why don't we do this? I got these two little knives. Why don't we do a little knife fight? And then our friend Joel filmed it, and we went to this awesome place in Hyde Park that I guess has Shakespeare in the Park usually. And
Okay.
we shot there while there's like a bunch of people with dogs all around us while we were stabbing each other.
That's very funny. Yeah, the setting is striking. It's a great location. Whoever scouted that, I guess Joel, you said you're the cameraman, and right.
Well, yeah,
It's a great spot. I mean, yeah, like Shakespeare would look great there, but also a knife fight to the death.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, me and my friend Conrad, who we made a couple little short films together. We made a short film called Uncut Tims, which is a Uncut Gems Tim Hortons parody, which you can find on YouTube.
Nice.
And we made another one called A French Anglais Birthday, where we wrote a script in English, then we put it in Google Translator, and then it's French. And that was released sometime over the summer. And then we shot one more, which should be coming out sometime next month, called Internet 2, where a group of people create a second internet.
Whoa.
Yep.
As alluded to on Silicon Valley. But
Yeah.
this is what it would be like if it really happened.
I swear to God, if someone else thinks of that idea after we release our film, we are gonna get
If someone else
some
thinks of this
vicious
idea
lawyers in
again, friggin'
Canada.
forget it. But that sounds great. Everyone's got to check out those short films. Those
Yeah.
up for awards, perhaps in the future. Short films.
Oh yeah.
YouTube links in the show notes. Got to go check those out.
Thank you.
Now, I guess we should say, or I should ask if it's okay if we talk about your writings on Medium.
Yeah. Sure. I've been writing these articles on Medium, reflecting on some crazy times in my life. Crazy times in my childhood, crazy times, I guess, like a couple years ago, suffering with depression and I guess, trauma and all that shit. So, yeah,
So that's some real shit. That's some deep writing. That's some realness.
I tried to
Posted.
make them a little funny too. So,
Yeah, and definitely, if you've been listening to Ben this whole podcast, you get his sort of general vibe. I hope if you go check out his TikTok,
yeah,
more of the vibe. Get a good dose of the vibe, and then read it. You'll be able to hear his voice as you read it. It makes it funnier. It makes it good and funny, and it sort of cuts some of the heavier stuff, which I'm sure took you a while to figure out how to do, how to
yeah,
tell the story, sort of in your own way. And yeah, like trigger warning for sure,
yeah,
content warning. I'll put a content
yeah,
warning on here, but
lots of
there's
that.
the two stories, like the Jackass story. I fucked
Yeah,
for the rest of my life, and then the
yeah,
other story about your
Maybe you feel this way too is the first
Right,
one.
maybe you feel this way too. So yeah, I should have just had that title there to say. And so I'll have the links again in the show notes. You can read those on your own time and reflect, and then send Ben a message if it moved you, like I did.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was just trying to write what I know. So
That's you know what, Stephen King right now, we'd be
Stephen
friggin'
King would
proud.
love that.
He would. I'll just send him that one clip.
Yeah,
I'll just send him the one clip and the link
that's
to your
why
story.
I'm on, right?
And then and you guys will be fast friends.
Yeah,
It can happen.
I hope the listeners out there enjoy the articles. They took me some time to write, but
I guess so. So how was that? Like, what was that process? Like, was it like cathartic getting it out? Was it
like at first, I don't know. Like I guess it was cathartic, but then also I just was like, in both of those articles after I released them to the world on Medium and Twitter, I was like, just like for a couple days, just like, oh, why did I do that? You
have
know,
the
like it's just
burning red cheeks.
yeah, it's like just like very like
it's out there.
I guess. But
yeah, for sure. That's like, it's very on it, very revealing, very personal stuff. Obviously, that's a huge part of your life, and it's sharing stuff like that. It takes extreme courage and vulnerability, Ben.
Yeah, hey, why not? Why not do it?
Yeah,
Life's
fuck
too
it.
short not
You
to
got
release
that
a
shit.
Medium
Yeah.
article.
So again, very good stories there. Interesting. Hopefully, it strikes a chord with someone. Go check it out. Medium.com for all your Ben Steger writing.
Yes. Dude, they should hire you. Dude, they need ads right now.
I never see ads for medium.com, even after I've searched it a bunch for podcast guests who do writing on there. So that's good. And the final thing, did you know? So your name is Ben Steger, not Stager, not Stager.
It's Stagger, yeah.
Stagger.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not Stager, even though you are a stager. You're a stageman. Yes. So isn't that weird, or is that normal? Do you have to correct people? What's the percentage of people who say it right versus wrong?
I feel like it's like, I feel like most people say it right, which is like,
that's great. They're like, we're going hard G.
I don't know why people would not think to pronounce it stager, but then every once in a while someone pronounces it stager.
Yeah, like stager is a word, right? Like it is. Yeah. That is the word that it is. But when it's a name,
I'm pretty sure there's actually like a show called The Stagers where it's people staging homes. So.
And it's not about your family.
No,
it's not every wild reality show about how celiac disease tears families apart.
Tears families apart from the bottom up.
All sponsored by gluten. Yes. Hate to tell you, Ben, this podcast is actually sponsored by gluten. What a terrible.
Yeah, like you're cool with it. I find gluten it's a very powerful thing.
It is powerful.
It binds everything together. You don't know how powerful it is until you don't have it in your life no more.
Yep. It's like the Force from Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. It's all encompassing. It's amazing.
All right. So when I was Googling you doing research for this very podcast, one thing kept coming up when I put in Ben Steger. Ben Steger shooter comes up. Have you seen this?
Oh, there's a shooter?
There's a shooter. No, he's like a world-class shooter. I guess you don't have Google up in front of you, but if you Google Ben Steger, the first and second predicted text is Ben Steger shooter or Ben Steger shooting. And if you Google it, it's not even Ben Steger, not spelled the same right. It's Stoeger, like Stoeger. And Ben Stoeger is an IPSC world champion and multiple US PSA national champion. He travels all over the United States and the world, shooting matches and teaching classes and taking asses. I added that last part. So he'll do live fire and dry fire drills.
This is amazing.
You could take a shooting class from him.
Yeah, I wonder if I get a discount.
Benjamin Thomas Steger.
I also didn't know
he's got books.
I didn't notice that there was competitive shooting competitions.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like he's a gold medalist now that I'm looking at his
Yeah, he's a
Wikipedia
national champion.
page.
He's a
Good
world
for him.
champion. He's a world and national champion
I love this
for
guy.
the USA. So yeah, he has a benstoger.com and you can take a class from him. Practical Shooting
Wow.
Fundamentals. That's the flagship class. Work on fundamental UPS, PSA skills and apply them in a stage environment.
It is so crazy seeing the name spelled like that. I think that's one of the great. Oh, and he's got a podcast too.
You got a podcast?
Yeah, you should
I
get
guess
him
I'll
on.
put the link. I guess I'm putting the link to his podcast.
It's called Practical Shooting After Dark.
Wow. After dark.
Yeah,
You know what?
it's.
If you add after dark to anything, you know what you're
I
implying.
know.
What is that saying? What kind of podcast is this?
I don't know, but holy wow! Oh my god! And you got to check out. Oh, you gotta check out his about me. It says my name is Ben and I like to shoot stuff. Oh my god!
Okay, I got the podcast.
Thanks for showing me this guy. Holy hell!
Okay, we got the podcast, so it's still going. Episode 136 just dropped this last week. And he puts the class schedule up with the podcast. He's a USPSA Grandmaster.
Wow.
That is quite the title. I've never aspired to be a Grandmaster of anything, but it sounds pretty neat.
Neither have I, but this guy has Ben Stoger. Oh my god! I would
He's
love to
clearly
see.
destroying you in SEO because he overrides
I
even the
know.
spelling of your name.
This
And it'd
is
be
the
like,
first time I've ever found out
did you
about
mean
this.
Ben
Oh
Stoger, the shooting guy? Surely you did, not the
yeah,
other guy, right? Like,
yeah, yeah.
and his
But
cool
one thing I
logo.
gotta say, on his website, he hasn't changed the favicon, and he still has the Squarespace
What up, chump?
favicon. when he has a logo here,
That
and
logo
he
is
could make
badass. That
the
unicorn.
favicon. Come on, Ben. I'm gonna message him.
He also has like a Latin tag.
Oh, in that little logo there.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy is something else.
Dylan, yeah, I should get him on the pod.
You should. Wow. And no, oh wow, and he has a store where you can buy guns.
Let me get that.
Or no, you can buy bullets.
Yeah, probably not guns. Actually, bullets are in quite high demand now
Wow.
because of because everyone thought that they were doing civil war in the States.
Oh yes.
All those
Of
people
course.
just thought that, so they all loaded up on guns and bullets. But
Wow.
I don't think it happened yet.
Wow. Hey, hopefully it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think we can safe to say that wave has passed for now.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Ben. So now we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything you want to shout out or say to the listeners? You want to give a shout out to your crew? Where can we find you on internet? We haven't already mentioned. Anything you want the listeners to check out? I got a link to your podcast, The Tim's Talk Line. Did we even not talk about that? Your podcast, The Tim's Talk Line. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Oof.
Yeah, check it out. I'd love people to check that out.
Yeah, everyone check that out. I listened to an episode yesterday to prepare the Everardo episode. It was great. But if you have misophonia, skip the part where he eats the chicken sandwich.
Oh yes, he really goes in, that guy.
He was like playing that up as a bit, but he was really eating it to the mic.
Yeah, he did.
He made it an ASMR type bit, but
Yeah.
there's lots of lots of episodes. You can go check out any of them. Doesn't have to be the Everardo one, or listen to them all in order to get the whole experience.
Get the narrative.
Yeah.
Get the narrative going. I worked tirelessly to create. We got a couple new apps about to drop. We're just working on them tirelessly. So.
That's pretty great. And you've been on a ton of other podcasts, obviously. Your Podcast Pro.
Yep.
The Sonar Network has like a whole page of you and just your podcast appearances. So just like Google Ben Steger Sonar, or it'll come up on the list.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you, Sonar.
Check it out. Yeah, and go, and it's got all your appearances on all their different podcasts, which is a bunch. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff for our listeners to check out if you just can't get enough of this Ben.
Yeah, if you cannot get enough of me, Ben Stager.
Benjamin Daniel Stager, Stager. Thank you very much, Google.
Yeah, shout outs to Google.
Shout out to Google. All right. So I guess if nothing else, then I will play the podcast theme and we'll say our goodbyes.
Bye.
Thank you, Ben, for being the first new guest in 2021.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was an honor.
And it's an honor for you to follow Ben on Twitter, BENNNNSD. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Ben. He was the first episode I recorded in the new series and was very gracious and nice, so please check him out on Twitter at Ben with 4 N's, ST, for some jokes, fun selfies, videos, and even short films. Oh, if you're a new listener, welcome! Let me know. If you like, you can check out all the past episodes. Visit www.stephenwskinner.com or find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Apocalypse. Remember, don't leave a rating and review. I'm trying to keep this podcast a secret. All right, now check out all the links in my bio, including the new Patreon with bonus Friends of the Show episodes. So excited for that. A new episode every week, plus more as I figure it out. Follow at FOTS Pod on Twitter to find posts about the latest episode. Follow me at Skinner Steven on Twitter. Thanks to Ruby Coast for the music. Thanks to Kyle I. Davidson for the theme. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great one!